I got my Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day, and I used it, obviously. I've used it for about a week now, and I have some thoughts. I want to talk about it. I don't really have thoughts, I just want to talk about it. So, after using it for about a week now, I there's a lot of discourse on the Switch 2. A lot of people are saying it's better than the Switch 1. A lot of people are saying it's worse than the Switch 1. A lot of people are saying it's no better than the Switch 1. Where do I sit? I'm kind of in the middle. On the one hand, it is a lot better than the Switch 1. I've noticed the Switch 1 games obviously run a little better. Smash is a lot more smooth. Pokemon Scarlet is actually running now. That's interesting. It's kind of a shame that it had to take a new console for it to get there, but at least we got there. Or at least for the people who got the Switch 2. If you're gonna buy Switch 2 just so those games are playable, don't do it. It is nice to see them running, but I would not recommend buying a whole console for it. Okay, so let's see. Its power. It runs, let's see, its a launch title was Mario Kart World, and it runs pretty well. For an open world Mario Kart game, it does run smoothly. I have not noticed any frame drops or lag. Even online, it's been running pretty good. What else did they got? The new Joy-Cons. They are very noticeably bigger. They feel a little too big in my opinion, but then again, I never had a problem with the Joy-Con, with the original Joy-Cons to begin with. The circle sticks, they are a lot bigger as well. They feel a lot wider. It's weird. I'm not exactly used to it yet, but I'm sure I'll get there eventually. But I've been using the Pro Controller for the most part. That one is it's not a noticeable improvement over the Switch 1 Pro Controller at a glance, but when you're using it, you can really feel it. The sticks feel a lot smoother. The texture feels a lot grippier in your hand. If you saw my unboxing video, you'd know that there's this weird texture on it that I can't exactly describe. It feels, I don't know if you could hear that, I rubbed my mic to see if it was the same material. But it's a plastic material, but it has almost like a fuzzy / rubber feel. It's weird, it's hard to describe. Yeah, portability or on handheld mode. I have not played with it in handheld much, mostly just because I can't capture footage that way. But I played it for about 2 hours and with Mario Kart World, and it lasted a fair bit. I think it was probably more like 1.5 hours, and it went down to about half of the battery life. But then I also had an airplane mode, so it wasn't trying to connect to anything, so I don't know if that made a difference or not. That's just something I picked up during the Switch 1 days. And I noticed it made a difference, so that's what I do if I'm not connected to anything when I'm out and about. While playing a handheld, it is noticeably heavier. It wasn't too bad though, in my opinion. I need to play it handheld a lot more in order to really feel if it's an uncomfortable amount of weight in the hands, but at the moment it doesn't feel like it. The screen being noticeably big, I wouldn't say that it's noticeably big, because if you're just looking at it, you're like, oh, it doesn't seem that different from a Switch 1. But it is, the images are a lot clearer, so that's nice. The dock is, kind of bland. They didn't really do much to change it, but there was nothing really that special about the original dock to begin with. The mouse mode, now this is the big sort of thing that Nintendo brought to Switch 2. I only have one game that supports it right now, and that is Fortnite. And trying it out, well, first, I tried mouse mode on the menu when I first was booting up the Switch, and it's interesting. It's just kind of weird having moving around the Joy-Con like a mouse, but for menus and stuff, it's alright. It's, it works. For games, though, that it was awful. I don't know if it's just because I'm playing through OBS, so I don't have the game running straight into a monitor or anything. But it was not even just moving around. Well, okay, well actually the action wasn't very comfortable as a whole. So like shooting and stuff, because the buttons are still mapped to the side of the Joy-Con, so it's really awkward trying to use it. But also, just moving around is not very comfortable because of the way the Joy-Cons are shaped. You're kind of having to hold your hand in an arc just to rest it on the top, and even then, it's a weird position because you can't really use both fingers comfortably. Not that Fortnite uses both R and ZR buttons. I only played one game. It's probably going to be playing behind me, but I only played one game, and it was very difficult to... Well, it wasn't difficult, but it was uncomfortable. I'd say the hardest part about it was just trying to find a good sensitivity for the mouse mode. Like I said, the only games I played so far are Mario Kart, Pokemon, Smash, and Fortnite. I would have gotten Cyberpunk 2 had I thought about it, because I was debating. That would be like the real showcase for how powerful the console is, but I was debating whether I should get it on Switch 2 or PC, but nah, it might actually blow up my PC, so maybe I'll get it on Switch 2. Let's see, still waiting on Donkey Kong Bonanza and Drag X Drive. That's going to be a fun game to test out the mouse mode. That's really the game I'm looking forward to for the mouse controls. We'll see how it does. Donkey Kong Bonanza is probably not going to have any mouse controls, but it's a 3D platform. Why would you need a mouse? GameCube games. That's what I missed. The selection is very lackluster right now, but that's no surprise. Nintendo doesn't like to release stuff, their classic stuff, in good condition. As we saw with NES Online, or I guess they call it Classics now, NES Classics. They had like Mario Bros, Mario Bros 2, or not Mario Bros 2. They had Mario Bros 1 and 3, and like a handful of games nobody's ever played. Same thing with SNES and 64. And now they've done the same thing with GameCube. They brought F-Zero GX, Wind Waker, and Soul Calibur 2. Two of those games are really fun. I still haven't touched Wind Waker, but I'm not a Zelda fan, so I haven't tried it out yet. But F-Zero GX, it runs it really well. I'm not sure if it feels any different from the original, just because I haven't played enough of like the actual Grand Prix. I've just been trying to keep forgetting to mute you. I've just been grinding out the first story mission just so I can unlock Phoenix, so I haven't really gotten a feel for the game as a whole on Switch 2. The Pro Controller 2 feels kind of weird for it. It feels a little too smooth almost. And then, let's see, what else? Soul Calibur 2. I've never played Soul Calibur 2 up until that stream with Captain Nixon on my sofa. And yeah, it's actually really fun. Having a third dimension to move around in is really weird, but I gotta start practicing so I can beat him next time. So those are my thoughts on Switch 2 after about a week. My thoughts probably will change after more time. Right now, I don't have any super major issues with it. I do know that there's two issues though that may come up in the future. People saying that the batteries isn't reading properly. Like I said, I haven't used handheld much, so that may change in the future. And the Joy-Con 2's sticks use the same tech as the Switch 1 sticks, and we all know how that went. So we'll see if they start to drift. But anyways, yeah, bye. You can like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you disliked it, and comment if you comment. And yeah.